there's an interesting dynamic playing out with Justice Alito right now. It seems to be the case that at least someone is alleging that Alito leaked a 2014 landmark case regarding contraception and religious rights. And that raises the question, if he did it in the past, could he be involved in the most recent leak of the Roe v. Wade decision? And to give you context, then we'll look at this bombshell report that came out from the New York Times. But one of the things that happened right after Roe v. Wade, the draft opinion, if y'all remember, I'm sure you do, got leaked to the public before it was actually finalized. And initially, conservative world was saying this is definitely a liberal because they're angry about the fact that Roe v. Wade is poised to be overturned. And they wanted to put the Dobbs decision out there so that people protest and change the minds of the Supreme Court justices. But then as time went by, the speculation changed and towards the direction of it would be more logical for a conservative actually to leak it, because they might want to say, okay, the draft opinion right now is how we like it. Put it out there so that these justices can't be seen flip-flopping. The ones who right now on the draft opinion are on board, but may have been convinced. Reporting was revealing that John Roberts was trying to convince some of the more conservative justices to switch on this issue. And if the draft opinion got leaked, maybe the justices feel weird about switching after people know that they were previously on board with this opinion. So that was what was speculated, and the speculation, again, it changed to that after a little bit of time, and I think that does make the most sense. Now we're seeing on top of that, maybe Alito has a history of being the leaker. Again, this is not confirmed, but this is according to one of his former friends. As the Supreme Court investigates the extraordinary leak this spring of a draft opinion of the decision overturning Roe v. Wade, a former anti-abortion leader has come forward claiming that another breach occurred in a 2014 landmark case involving contraception and religious rights. In a letter to Chief Justice John G. Roberts Jr. and in interviews with the New York Times, the Reverend Rob Schenck said he was told the outcome of the 2014 case weeks before it was announced. He used that information to prepare a public relations push, records show, and he said that at the last minute, he tipped off the president of Hobby Lobby, the craft store chain owned by Christian evangelicals, that was the winning party in the case. And then to summarize, it draws the parallel, this article, of how both majority opinions in the Dobbs decision as well as this Hobby Lobby case were written by Samuel Alito, and both were huge triumphs, as this article calls them, for the conservative religious right. So there's some parallels, and this does bolster the idea that Samuel Alito could be behind, and this would show more of a pattern that he's less invested in the idea that this information should stay completely secure and behind closed doors. Now, the difference that is highlighted in the article is that in the case of the Hobby Lobby case, it was just Alito sharing it to people around him in a smaller group setting. With the Dobbs decision, it was leaked to Politico. That's different, but again, within the Supreme Court, there is an assumption that all the justices have a massive, significant investment in making sure the legitimacy of the court is upheld through keeping information completely private and secret so that they're not influenced in major ways by the public day to day, and for other reasons as well. But that was completely violated both in 2014 by Alito, according to this Schenck, again, I don't know if I'm saying that correct, or Schenck, individual, and again in this Dobbs decision. And so it's definitely interesting. It is funny to me that right out of the gate, the decision being leaked caused huge protests by pro-choice people, liberals. And so that was when conservative media was freaking out, saying, don't care at all about the material within the leak. Don't care that a right is going to be taken away. Care about the leak. The leak was crazy and the leak was bad, but it was funny to see that was their obsession. And then when the speculation changed to, I think it actually makes more sense if this was a conservative, because it would have given instilled, put out in the public who was supporting it at the moment, and kind of scared them away from changing their opinion on it. And you heard nothing after that from the conservative media. Never mind, it's fine then. If it was a conservative justice, we don't care anymore, which was really, really interesting to see. So we'll continue to follow this. It would be interesting to see if more reporting could bolster this claim a little bit more, so it's not just coming from one individual, but he does provide to the New York Times some level of records of how he knew beforehand that this had happened, and how could he know that except from a justice or a very close staffer to a justice. Very interesting. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before any of the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get access to an extra full show every Saturday that only members can see, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Luke Beasley. That's patreon.com/Luke Beasley, and there is a link in the description.